Good evening, everybody. Hello, hello. Hi, everybody.
Uh, yeah, I'm trying
You
to.
just have to, yeah, switch. Hi, Shivi. It's so good to see you. Welcome to Awaken Life.
Hi, Ruby. Thank you for inviting me.
It's,
And yeah, very
uh,
nice to be here too.
it's a pleasure and an honor for Awaken Life. And for me personally, I'm a big fan of yours. I've read
You
two
are
of
just
your
being too
books
sweet.
and I read two of your books and it kind of really brought in a lot of perspective, especially
Which
Let Go
ones?
Mom. Let Go
Ah,
Mom, and we find that
okay.
one, even the other one, the Let the Power Be With You. So both I think were amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for saying this.
Uh, I am just going to start with a quick introduction for all those who are new here to Awaken Life and then uh, about Shivi. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to Awaken Life. This is a community where we bring experts like Shivi, uh, who are experts in their fields and who can assist and contribute towards your conscious living journey. And we do this by introducing you to three different aspects of conscious living, which is physical, emotional, and spiritual. And today we have Shivi with us. Once again, Shivi, welcome. I will quickly introduce Shivi to all of you. Shivi is the founder of healing modalities called Serenity, Surrender, and Breathe. And she continues to share her decades of experience through these various workshops that she does as part of these two modalities. She is an author as well and has authored books like uh, Let Go, Let Go, Mom, I'll Be Fine, Let the Power Be With You, Eternity and My Shape, on topics ranging from spirituality, parenting, and five elements. Shivi, let's uh, let's start with understanding what is serenity surrender, and then while this talk is about breathe, we'll move on to breathe a little later, but we'll just let's introduce what is serenity surrender to everyone.
Thank you, Ruby. And thank you for all the nice words you said. I don't know uh, whether I deserve any of that. I mean, yeah, things just happen. I think one cannot write a book. A book comes through a person. So
Absolutely.
I cannot take too much credit for it. About my work, I think I would like to say that self empowerment is my field of work. Uh, so I think everyone over time during the course of life, everyone does find their empowerment, and situations happen for that. And so the reason that one gets into a particular kind of journey is not so important, because the reason was basically a nudge. So I had my reasons to get into healing, but basically I was probably only being led to a path that was already chalked out. And today when I look back at these 22 years, I feel self empowerment was uh, where I was being nudged towards. And SS, Serenity, Surrender, again, like I said, a book just comes through a person. I feel something as empowering as Serenity, Surrender, or even Breathe. I don't think my conscious mind has the capability to create or curate any such thing. I feel when we just trust the universe and trust the higher energies, we become channels for the higher wisdom to come through to us. Because if probably a certain number of people have already chosen to benefit in through this, and someone becomes a medium for that empowerment of not only self but so many others associated with the person. So serenity surrender, I would say, is a tool that leads us from living victimized to realizing that as human beings we are empowered beings. Because it might, you know, if we were to address ourselves, we might not agree that we live victimized. But the fact is that anytime a situation that is unpleasant or unexpected happens, we like to associate the responsibility of that situation, of that experience, to someone or something. So I am experiencing this because so and so did this, or so and so said that, or because the situation was such, or because the job demanded this. So I'm so this kind of, we do this because it kind of gives us temporary empowerment that I'm not responsible, but it doesn't do anything to bring us out of that situation, and our misery only increases. So serenity surrender is a healing modality with two aspects. One is the ideology, which is what I just mentioned, that it is about taking complete ownership of our lives.
Hmm.
And secondly, it involves a healing technique which enables a person to come in alignment with the situation. So that is what SS is, and it involves many workshops, because actually living my life the SS way, and in the process of channeling the modality SS, I have come to understand various aspects of life in a very unique manner. I mean, aspects like parenting, partner relationships, ego, fear, and these are the things I have also written about in my books. So that is what I would say SS is all about.
Yeah, and I think it came. I'm talking from my experience of reading your books, and I think that came across very clearly in those two books that I have read. And so when I read, especially, I'm going to talk about the, let go, mom, I'll be fine. My daughter was about 3 4 years old, and you're still a new parent, right? So you're still trying to figure out a lot of things, and you're trying to do everything right, and you're
Yeah,
trying to ensure that according to you you're doing everything right, you're doing things right even according to others.
yeah.
You're trying to be at best in terms of being a parent. But I think that book just kind of opened my eyes and really brought in a perspective to so much more, and what perpetually could go wrong when we try to kind of control so much about what is happening in the child's life.
I'm
And
so glad to hear this.
this is no, seriously. And I must tell you that, so this was in 2016, 17, and I loved reading that book. I think I must have finished it in a day or two. So, and I still have it, and I go through it oftentimes. And to even have you here sitting in front of me and, interviewing you itself is like a fangirl moment.
Thank you so much. I think you're just very sweet. I mean,
No,
uh,
seriously. I think those who read that book, like Monica's here, Monica just says that it's so lovely listening to you on Awaken Life. Yeah, absolutely, Monica. You can imagine my happiness right now. So, okay, so what is breathe then, Shivi, and
yeah.
why is it called a spiritual breathwork practice?
Yeah, I will try and put it into words, although I think it is so much of an experiential thing that I really doubt if I can do justice to the content by putting it into words. But I will try and explain as much as I can. So, like I was saying, Serenity Surrender brought me understanding of the various processes of life, and breathing is a very basic process of life. We live because we breathe because we live. And there came a point where, uh, working on myself the SS way, I began to understand breathing in a very unique way. It will be not possible for me to explain that, because it will take me a long time to, put across. Half information is actually very misleading and very confusing. So there was this very unique way that I got to understand breathing. And The other thing that I was increasingly recognizing was the importance of letting go in life. And what really letting go is, actually, I've also been putting up reels related to letting go on Instagram, and still just trying to convey, but it is the wisdom of letting go is so deep. See, I'll tell you, we feel that in life we are acquiring wealth or acquiring family or acquiring relationships or building them or acquiring a job or status or whatever, and even acquiring wisdom. That seems to be a very big thing. Like, okay, forget everything else, I am to uh, after wisdom. That is most important for me. What we fail to realize is that all these things, we do not make it happen in our life. They come in our life and we recognize them. We feel that I have created this identity for myself as a very capable mother or a very dutiful wife or a very efficient employee. But you know, that is where things start going wrong, when we start taking credit of what we are experiencing or what we have become, because these are the very things we had so resisted when they were new. The new job, the new role, the new role as even a wife, how there was so much resistance initially, and rejection at so many points. But today, when we have learned through that, playing that role, we feel we have acquired it. So when this happens, so either we like something that is a part of our reality and we want to maintain it that way, or we dislike something. No, this shouldn't be this way. I don't believe in this. I should not be experiencing this. In either case, we hold on. We hold on to either retain something good or to change something unlikable. And the wisdom of letting go just disappears. We forget that things are happening. Life is happening to me. Life is happening through me. I'm not making life happen. So, yeah, like I said, I was increasingly recognizing the importance of letting go. I think that is the only thing we need to learn. Everything else happens on its own. So, that unique understanding of breathing and this wisdom of letting go, coupled together, are what breathe is. So why we would look at it as spiritual practice? Because it involves specific introspection exercises, which bring to us the understanding or the insight how we have trapped ourselves in our expectations, in our desires, in our past, in our future. So we are everywhere other than this moment, when life is happening only in this moment. So it actually, through a very simple breathing technique, it actually connects you to yourself. That is why
It's
called as a spiritual practice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Shivi, but like while you're saying that we don't realize that it's coming to us, it's happening to us, and then, but a lot many times, if you don't respond in a certain way, or things may not turn out the way you would like them to, and
I
also many times
understand
we
what
call
you're saying.
the creators of our own life, right? So,
But here
what
there is a conflict.
there is that,
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. The creator of our life, we are in being that self that lives through me, not in being this little conscious mind that basically is meant to just reveal to me what I am, which is presented through my reality. So it is that higher wisdom that lives through me and manifests as me and as my reality, only to present the magnificence that I am in being that one. But the fact is that that magnificent divine that exists through me, manifests as me, is has chosen to renew itself in each moment. I have an experience. I'm talking to you now. Okay, let's say I talk to you for 20 minutes. Even those 20 minutes are new in each moment. You say something, you blink your eyes, or you give a smile, or you give a frown, or you say a word, or you say another word. So everything my being is absorbing and is transforming, not at the conscious level. The conscious is for me to recognize how I have transformed, because that transformed self will be presented through the reality. So the what I'm trying to say is, since that being that lives as me is ever renewing, but we have held on to what we liked or what we disliked, we want to change the new that is being presented to either conform to what we had come to accept, or to what we want to see in future. That's how we keep drifting away from the moment. So actually, whenever we feel we have to make a choice, like you said, if we do not act in a certain manner, when we feel we have to act, we are doing that out of a certain fear of what might happen if I do not do it. But otherwise, if I live in alignment with what lives through me, I will have just one very clear choice, and that will be devoid of fear. But when I allow myself to be fearful, my choices will be scattered, and I will actually be fearful of making the choice A or choice B, because something seems to be something seems to be lost in taking this choice, and another thing seems to be lost in taking another choice. But the fact is that the creator, or the being that lives as me, is one, and it will present only itself, whatever I might choose. So it will adjust itself to give me that chosen experience, no matter what choice I make.
Wow. So Namrata is asking, is this a series of practice? Is it like a series of practices?
What do you mean by series?
I'm assuming that she's asking that, is it like a one go kind of a thing, or is it like done over a series or in various sessions?
This workshop itself is it spans over 16 days, including 6 sessions, which are 3 to 4 hours each, and various exercises are introduced each day, which like if it is a weekend workshop, we do it on Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday to Friday, the participants will be spending half an hour, 1 hour on themselves practicing what they had learned.
Right.
So that is one series.
Mm.
And it is, I mean, it has been immensely powerful in terms of the benefits that people have achieved. Again, because it came from that higher power, and it was meant to bring relief to so many. So it had to be powerful. But then the benefits have been like in every sphere, every aspect of life. There is a page dedicated to it on the Serenity Surrender website, serenitysurrender.com, where one can read about the layout of the workshop and also the benefits. But yeah, that is if this is what you wanted to understand. So there is a basic, very, very simple breathing technique. But what is more important is to understand what that technique is based on, which is what I'm saying, that understanding that I got about breathing. And using that simple technique and doing these various introspection exercises, we actually are able to exhale our toxins, and people do feel the detoxification during the workshop. And incidentally, it seems that the Breathe Advanced is also brewing somewhere, and I'm getting some glimpses of that.
Beautiful, lovely. So, Shivi, what is the significance of this practice? Like you said, a lot of people have benefited. So, can you throw some light in that part?
Uh, okay, again, let me elaborate a little that our true self is what flows through me. It continuously flows through me and gets renewed through me and then comes back again and flows through me and gets renewed through me. So while that true self of mine is an absolute reflection of the divine existing as me, like I have been explaining so far, we tend to separate ourselves from it when we feel something shouldn't be happening the way it is happening. No, this is wrong. Or no. Oh, I had come to understand it that way, and that is how it should be. So I know more about life, and this person, whatever they are saying, we fail to realize that this person is also only conveying my renewed self to me. So we separate ourselves from ourselves, and that is when we fail to recognize how my true self is actually getting renewed in each moment. And we separate ourselves from our situation, and that is what leads to our physical pains and aches, our soured relationships, our anxiety, our sleeplessness, and various other things. So in through this workshop, one actually understands what stress is. Stress is a very common word, but hardly do we understand. I mean, we don't even realize we are carrying stress. We feel, but I know how to live stress free. So I do this and I do that and I have no stress. But we don't realize it, how we are creating it in each moment. So through this workshop, we realize what stress is, how we are creating it, how we can release it and instantly, and how we can find relaxation instantly in the middle of a situation, and thus learn to live such that we do not further create stress, because that is what leads to everything. Actually, everything is fine because we have seen that whenever we look at our life in hindsight, 5 years back, 10 years back, we are able to see how, one thing led to the other, and how it was in divine order when we were not able to accept it when it was happening.
Absolutely.
So we need to learn to bring that wisdom into this moment. If everything happened for the better in hindsight, this moment also must be in divine order. But we lose that trust. So this workshop, I think, helps rebuild that trust in ourselves and be able to actually live in the moment.
Right. So, Shivi, if one needs to understand whether you're living in your, I mean, as in if you're flowing with that oneness and if you're in your true self, if you want, how does one identify? So, one basically has to check whether you're feeling fearful, stressed, anxious. Are you having, maybe going through physical pains? Is that the way to identify that? I mean, I'm just maybe talking very superficially, but how does one
Yeah,
identify?
this is a journey to make. Again, I mean, these things are very easy to talk about,
Yeah.
but to actually be able to do it, it's a journey to make. So fear is one very prominent thing, which we don't realize. So if I do not do this, so and so will be upset with me. So I'm actually not doing it because I want to do it, but because I'm afraid that so and so will be upset with me. And so if so and so will be upset with me, they'll say something that will take me to a newer understanding of myself. But no, I want to stay in what I have come to understand. I do not want to, that I want to make it my comfort zone, but comfort zones are always meant to be transcended. I mean, whether I allow it or not, I am going to transcend. So yeah, I think if I had to pinpoint one thing, then it would be to identify fear.
And how is it like? Namrata is also asking how are these different from normal pranayam and a lot of other uh, breathing practices like Kriya Yoga, etc. Can you share that?
See, if I were to compare what I do with something that has been around, it would be, it would seem like uh, proving that what I do is better, which I don't even believe in, because there are so many ways of living, and each one is the most appropriate for whoever is practicing that. And we all are unique individuals. We all have our unique vibration, and so does each of the techniques that we hear about or that we do. And I feel everyone gets drawn to whatever is going to work best for them. So without commenting uh, on any other process, I can only talk about breathe, that it actually teaches one to live in the moment, and gives techniques to not even have to sit down for an hour or half an hour or 20 minutes, but techniques that one can apply while walking, while talking, uh, to be able to come in the moment. And this is this can be called as the gist of it, but then there are so many things to it. Like I said, I have this page open. I'll just read out a few of them.
Please.
uh, uh, like it decodes stress and teaches how to release already created stress and how to stop creating stress. It is
Yeah.
possible to live without creating stress. And like I said, we don't even realize how much stress we are creating in each moment.
And also,
So this,
it's become a more accepted thing that if you're living in stress,
yes,
it should
very
be
true.
like, you know,
And
yeah, I'm
another
stressed and I'm busy and I'm overworked,
yeah,
and
but
that's when
yeah,
people
I'm
become
doing so much, so I'm bound to be
so
stressed.
yeah, and it just becomes like, oh, that is, that's like as if that's like another badge that you very proudly wear.
Yes,
You
very
know,
true.
which I think a lot of people. So if I'm not stressed out in spite of whatever is going around, I don't seem.
Yeah.
It just seems like as if I'm not enough involved.
Yeah, and my existence is invalidated.
Yes,
Stress
yes,
validates my
absolutely.
existence.
Yes,
Yeah, and another very accepted thing is expectations.
yeah.
Oh, but I should have expectations from myself. And so here again we are separating the true me that I am from what I think I am. So expectations will always keep us struggling against the reality, when reality is what I am. And it doesn't mean, now again coming back to the very first question you had asked, we are meant to take certain actions. So we feel I am doing. I mean, this hands and feet and the intestines and the lungs and everything, I don't make them work. Every action is an inspired action when I live in alignment with that lives through me. Because when I'm hungry, I'll naturally get up and go and cook something for myself. I mean, I don't do it, it gets done through me. Likewise, everything, whatever. And it is that higher wisdom that has chosen to renew itself through living as me. I don't have control over it. I don't have to have any control over it. It it's like the embroider sitting down to do an embroidery, and an onlooker would say, oh, but it doesn't look nice, because the person is finding it convenient to, since they had picked up the red color, they'll just fill up the red color wherever it fits, and then next they'll pick up the green color and fill up wherever it fits, and then the light green. So the onlooker will say, we need to correct this. This person doesn't seem to know what beauty is all about. And we need to be patient to see, what the embroider had in mind. And because eventually it'll turn out to be a very beautiful flower. But we get anxious. We feel we have to intervene and we have to correct our life. What divine order? I'll create my order.
That's true. But, so while I get what you're saying, many times we are so, like you said, we get so anxious to take that decision or make that call or intervene. Otherwise, you just feel like as if there is no contribution from your end. Because then
That
how do you
happens
come
when
in
we
acceptance, or how do you come in that sense of feeling that, I mean, is it not like just leaving it and then not trying to do anything? I mean, a lot of people may just understand it like that, I feel. That,
it will be very hard to not do anything. That
yeah,
will
I mean,
require
in the
more
sense, like
effort.
when you have to take a certain action, but you're letting things be. So is that taking action of what you feel like is also a part of what is trying to flow through you, is what I'm trying to say.
Again, I would say identifying fear will help you
Figure
identify
out.
whether
Yeah.
you are doing it because you want to save yourself from some consequence, or you are doing it because that is the best thing to do. Because you will, whenever at this juncture, because you wouldn't think about the action and just do it when you are not faced with the conflict. And whenever you are faced with the conflict, only then you will wonder whether I should just let it be or whether I should do something. So what is the fear in doing it and what is the fear in not doing it?
Right. Amazing. That's the way to kind of identify. Yeah, that's true.
Because we are, again, we don't live in the moment, that whatever be the action, it is the higher wisdom that will readjust itself to present before me what I meant to learn through. So we think of consequence. Let me know what the consequence will be 10 steps ahead. Then I will take this step. But actually, the second step will be made evident only when I take the first step.
Absolutely. So, Shivi, if I have to, understand, so like once a person learns these techniques, is it something that they can further, go ahead and continue to do it themselves, or
Yes,
that
yes,
requires
absolutely.
a visit?
I
Okay.
mean, otherwise, what's the point? I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of shift happens in those 15 days, but until and unless one follows the practice,
Yeah.
they cannot. I mean, for so we have lived for, I mean, probably centuries trying to control things. So
Correct.
to unlearn that and to learn the new way of living in the moment, one has to practice it enough.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, it, of course, I cannot kind of summarize what you've said because that's going to be completely, um, difficult thing to even try and do because I can't put in words what you just explained. So those who are joining in now, you guys have to go back and watch this entire live to really understand what Shivi has spoken about breathe and serenity surrender. If you guys have any questions, we can take a few more questions. Meanwhile, Shivi, if there's anything more that you'd like to add, please do.
Uh, I think what I've been saying throughout this session, I would just want to reiterate that uh, we need to learn to trust the higher wisdom that operates through us because it knows what it is embroidering through us.
Yeah.
And only when we allow the events to unfold one after the other do we actually realize what it was all about. But we try to preempt before things can show up.
Yeah.
So one is trusting in the higher wisdom, and another thing is identifying when we are operating out of fear.
Yeah. Also, I'm sure a lot of us many times, even though, like you said, after 5 years, 10 years, you do realize it was a divine order. Sometimes sometimes you do feel like a decision that you made in the past uh, could have been a better one, or you could have made a different choice. Even
Let me say something here.
why does one feel that?
Let me give my take on this.
Yeah.
So let's say 1 week back, I had an interaction with someone and they said something which was out of the blue and I didn't like it. And I said something, but I have been pondering over it for a week now. And today I suddenly realized, oh my God, why didn't I respond this way then? Okay. Now try to understand. 1 week back, I was something else. That interaction has brought me this wisdom to understand things in a new way, with the way I'm thinking now. So now I'm judging that event that has brought me this wisdom from this wisdom. When that event was complete, it transformed me. So rather than honoring it for my transformation and bringing me this new wisdom, I want to judge that event and criticize myself for it rather than really realizing that, okay, this is what. And I feel, okay, let that person come to me the next time. I will tell them. I don't have to. They learned their lesson from there and I learned mine. I need to honor that. So regret only again keeps us away from the present moment.
Yeah. I think what you're saying is true because what you did at that time was probably your best decision for that time.
Yes, absolutely.
What vision you had at that time. And because you took that decision, you are here where you are. And now if you look
Yes.
back at it, it's going to be different, obviously, because now you're operating from a different version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So this, I've had a similar incident a few months back, and now when I look at it, and I'm constantly judging myself of why I responded and reacted the way I did, because but I was so instigated at the moment, in that moment, because it was constantly. Uh, I would say that it was an opposite against each other's beliefs. So you're constantly trying to prove what you believe is right.
Yes.
And now when you look at that argument, you're wondering why did you even have to respond it in that way? And
I'll tell you why you had to respond. Because had you not responded and had you kept it inside you, you wouldn't recognize your new self. It is important to respond, keeping in awareness that, okay, I'm growing through this.
Yeah.
I mean, we are very fearful of looking bad in front of others. But
Yeah.
in that process, we control our growth.
That's true. So, yeah, amazing, Shivi. This was such an insightful session. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
everybody is just blown away right now with the whole concept that
Not really.
I am definitely. It takes a while to kind of let it sink in, so lovely. All right. Thank you so much, Shivi. It's been an honor to have you here.
I really, really enjoyed this session. Thank you so much, Ruby, for calling me over and having this interesting interaction.
Amazing, amazing. We look forward to having few more with you, where we can maybe go in depth in various other topics.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shivi. Bye, everybody.
And thank you,
for being
everyone.
here.
And bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey friends, if you found the video interesting, make sure you like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also hit the bell icon to get notified every time we upload a new video.